Hi, welcome to episode 260 of your favorite daily podcast. A couple of things, a podcast about things. Today, I'm going to talk about doing hard things. Yesterday, I kind of started talking about it, but today I want to talk about doing hard things from a different point of view, not just like achievements, so to say. Let's get into it. But before we get into it, you guys, episode 260, that is wild. That is insane. That means we only have 105 days to go, 105 episodes to go, and 105 days left in the year. Can you believe it already? So yesterday, I talked a bit about doing hard things and quitting temporarily. The temporarily is important. Quitting temporarily in the middle when it gets too hard, and then you can take a step back basically and keep going again. But when I woke up this morning, I just had a thought. Literally, one of the first things that popped into my mind as I woke up this morning was hard things aren't always achievements. And I started thinking more about it that, what does this mean? And, before I go into how hard things aren't always achievements, I'm also thinking about how doing this daily podcast is a hard thing. And it has also even become harder in the past 2 to 4 weeks for me. And just me, the fact that I'm still doing it, and the fact that I'm telling myself that by the end, when I finish, I can tell myself I finished a daily podcast for 365 days, and so I can do whatever else is in front of me. So that's a hard thing that is quote unquote an accomplishment in a sense. But a hard thing that is not an accomplishment, for me personally, now we'll give an example for myself, is dropping out of school. It was a hard thing. I dropped out of a master's program that I started. I talked about this a bit on previous episodes, so I will link to them. If you don't know that story, you can find it somewhere else. Let me not go into it all over again. But I dropped out of a master's program, which was very, very hard for me because in my self-concept, being a quitter is not is not in my self-concept. In my self-concept, I'm like, we do the thing. We must do it. Even if I'm dying and you are dragging me on the floor, I have to do the thing. I have to finish what I start. And so it was very, very difficult for me. It was hard, but it was necessary. It was important. I realized that this wasn't working for where I was in my life. It wasn't what I actually needed to do at that point in my life. It didn't fit into my life at that time and what I wanted to do in that period. And so I had to do it. It was a necessary action that I had to take, but it was very difficult. It was very hard. And so there are other things that are hard things that are like that, which is again not necessarily an achievement or an accomplishment. So like having a difficult conversation with a friend or with a loved one, those kinds of things, quitting a job, even though you don't know what you're going to do next necessarily, you don't have another one lined up, but you know that, okay, this is not serving me anymore. There's nothing here for me any longer. I need to leave. So those kinds of things are also hard things that we have to do. When I say have to do, I don't mean like you have to go and quit your job now or you have to go and drop out of school. I mean just like these are the examples of hard things that we come across in our lives that we have to do them, and that builds up our confidence, our self-concept, and all these other things for us to be able to do other things in the future. So you have a hard conversation with a friend and maybe it goes great, and then you know that, this is something I can actually do. And even if it doesn't go great, you know that this is something that you have the capacity and the ability to do. And then another type of hard thing is also another type of hard thing. This isn't a thing that you achieve or accomplish or you do or don't do. It's when things just happen to you. So sometimes doing hard things is just enduring difficult things, enduring difficult processes and things that you are going through in your life, basically. So maybe you go through an illness, or you have to have surgery and you have to you need a lot of time to recover. Those kinds of things, like anything that is not necessarily like, I did something, I achieved something, or I didn't do something, or I said no to something. Other things that it's not really things in your control. It's just things just happened and you had to go through that process and you survived that process and you went through it and all of that. So, or maybe you got fired from your job and for reasons out of your control, like with layoffs or whatever, and going through that process and finding your feet again, even though it may not look like getting a new job immediately or whatever, but just going through that process, basically whatever that looks like for you, is a kind of doing hard things as well. And all of these different kinds of hard things 3 that I have identified. Right? Whether it's you accomplishing something, you setting a goal before you and pushing for it, whatever that might look like, or whether it's you choosing not to do something or quitting something that you already started, or having a conversation with someone that feels difficult, or if it's like life just happens and you're going through that process and you're enduring it. So if it's whatever it is, whether it's one of those 3, or maybe it's another type of hard thing that I don't know yet, that I haven't conceptualized yet in my mind, whatever kind of hard thing it is, these different things are important for our lives and for us to grow us into the people that we are, so that we can like move through life with a sense of purpose and a sense of knowing that, oh, I can actually do things. I have the capacity and the ability in me to do things, or to not do things, or to survive things, whatever that might look like. So yeah, that's for today. Thank you for listening. Bye. There's still over 100 episodes to go. I still need questions. I still need suggestions of who to talk to. I still need people who want to come on to talk about something to fill the form. So please do that. Thank you very much. And yeah, do like, share, subscribe if you found it interesting, insightful, and all the nice things. Bye.